Hello, hello, hello. This is Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser. Wanted to first start out and thank those that have joined for our annual special. This is our first year of being only on YouTube, so appreciate it very much. Let's dive right in and see what we can find out. I've been doing this for quite a few years already, but sometimes we get it right and sometimes we don't. The first thing that I wanted to jump into is kind of a rough estimate, if you will, of what exactly. Right now we're in an El Nino pattern, and the Climate Prediction Center, those that end up monitoring the ENSO, the oscillation patterns. They're predicting that 62% chance as of November 9th of El Nino pattern continuing through the spring. So let's take a look at some of the data that we currently have for patterns that are happening right now on a weather model, because we want to see what exactly are we expecting, as of right now, or based off one model. So this is given a precipitation type rate based on the GFS model that was updated early this morning. And as you can see, let me get my drawer on here. These are the isobars, or the wind patterns, and this is indicative of pockets of drier air, warmer air, that type of thing. And these are the different millibars that we see. I apologize, getting used to the arrows and all that. But if we put this into a little bit more motion, I'm going through there. Take a look, pretty dry, right? And then we have a low pressure that moves in, as this suggests. GFS, low pressure, 1004. And then the precipitation of blue is going to be obviously snow. Rain is the green, okay? As you can see, North Dakota kind of gets, and then northern Minnesota, of course. High pressure comes in, cooler air is marked by this, where we have the blue, and then the warmer air we have is marked by the red. All right. And the other thing that we do point out here is the fact that we have this big circle. That's indicative of the high pressure center. All right, kind of an education thing in here as well. So then as we go through the 17th, looks okay, 18th okay, still dry, a little bit of moisture possibly. But take a look out here into Wyoming area. We have pockets obviously in the upper elevations showing pockets of some more snow. And then here we do have, let me get my arrow on here, pointer on rather. We do have this pocket of some precip, rain part here. And if we go a little bit further here from the 18th, 20th there, again, not a whole lot. And the reason why I wanted to show you this is because, number one, be aware of this date that we have up here. That is pretty far out, and just be aware that typically we can't really predict very well and very accurate for storms that are winter storms that are happening 5 or longer than 5 to 7 days out. So those that end up sometimes giving you a 10-day forecast, you might see that change quite drastically over that period of time. So let's just go back into another option here that I wanted to show you. The other thing, winter weather is very difficult to predict because you have, hard to tell what precipitation type actually is going to fall. It could be rain, it could be sleet, it could be little gravel, which is kind of ice pellets, or it could be snow, it could be sleet. It all depends on the surface temperature, and that can vary from one area to another within a very short amount of distance. So sometimes you might see, for instance, Sioux Falls will get on the west side some snow, and then on the east side they might end up having just freezing rain, or vice versa. It just really depends on the surface temperature. So sleet, this is from the National Weather Service, so I did want to give official information that they have. This is accessible through their winter infographics page. So just don't underestimate, sleet dangers that you have. Use extreme caution when driving. Sleet can cause dangerous road conditions and reduce visibility. So you want to reduce the speed, allow plenty of stopping distance. Do not use cruise control. Reason for that is, imagine if you quickly turned off and slowed down, or turned off the cruise like by using your brake, right? Well, that short tap on the brake could actually cause you to end up spinning. There's also things called black ice, where the conditions may look like, because the precip on your windshield is falling or looking to be just water, but yet you might go over a bridge and it'd be super slick, or you might not go over a bridge and it might be still super slick. So you just never know. So it's better to err on the side of caution. The next thing that I wanted to bring up to you, let's get that off of there. What exactly are they, meaning the Climate Prediction Center, Storm Prediction Centers, all these weather service entities kind of going for? Well, let's dive into the precipitation probabilities as an overall for the winter season. Okay, let's take a look at that. Precipitation probabilities. Okay, I took a look at this. This graphic was updated on October 19th from the Climate Prediction Center, and this has not been updated since. Now, it could end up changing, but again, based on Climate Prediction Center, they're not expecting it to really change a whole awful lot. So the one thing that I do want to point out to you is up here. We do have, this area, obviously you can see drier than normal, okay? As well as the lighter shaded area. We also have precip down here. As you can see down in the southeast, we're expecting that for the first part of the winter months, expecting that to be much more moisture. And then as you go the farther north, in like this mid area where there is no higher probability, that means it's equal chances. So we could have a normal, or even possibly a tad bit drier in the South Dakota, Nebraska area. And then let's take a look. We'll shut this one off here. One second. All right, now we're looking at the probability percent chance of cooler than normal or warmer than normal temperatures. Well, as you can see up here, over in the northwest part of the United States, we're expecting warmer than normal, as is much of the United States. I don't see anything indicating cooler than normal. And the reason why I wanted to show you that pattern is because of this. We have Enso history. So what I do is I try to gather as much information as possible. Actually, let me just show you a different graphic. It might be a little bit easier for you to tell. Wrong one here. One second. There we go. Alright, so take a look at this as El Nino and La Nina weather patterns based off of, many, many years. From 1990 to present is what this one graphic is here. And as you can see, the El Nino and La Nina patterns out in near the equator, the Pacific Ocean, really that helps us determine what we're going to expect or could expect for whether we're having a La Nina or a El Nino pattern. Our El Nino pattern, as you can see in red, those El Nino patterns were 2014 to 15, 2018 to 19, whereas before that, 2016, 2017 to 18, those were La Nina patterns. And if we take a look over this, ME stands for mild El Nino, WE stands for weak El Nino. And then you do so also see a SE. That stands for a strong El Nino pattern. 1957 to 58, as you can see, these numbers along that line. So let's take a look at some of the seasons, and then we have June, July, August, September, August, September, October, and so on. But let's go down to more recent, and I'll shut off my camera here for a minute just so that we can make sure that we're able to see everything. If you take a look at our pattern of 2022 to 2023, and of course, remember, we have had, prior to this year, a number of years where we had a La Nina weather pattern, and a La Nina typically means cooler than normal temperatures and that type of thing. So it would make sense as to why the Climate Prediction Center is saying that we're going to probably have a warmer than normal because of the fact that we're in a mild El Nino weather pattern. And as you can see, the trend in 2022 to 2023, from June, July, and August, it was showing cooler than normal temperatures, okay, out in Pacific. And it started trending more of a neutral in January, February, and March of 2023. And then we transitioned in April, May, and June, I apologize, to starting to trend a little bit warmer. And as you can see, now we're getting, if you look at this, 1.1, 1.3, 1.5. Right now it's showing it's a mild El Nino. However, 2015, I can't get that on there quite right. So we have some indications that we might be going into a more strong El Nino weather pattern compared to 2015 and 2016. Okay? And no two El Ninos or La Ninas are exactly alike. There are other things that can play into it. However, I felt that it was necessary to kind of go through what I really look at as best as possible. So let me shut this off here for a minute. Sorry, still trying to get used to all of these different gadgets that I've got to use here. Alright, and then I'll put my wonderful face back on here. Once I get back to that one. Up, almost turned on the predictions right away. Don't want to do that. Alright, so the next thing that I wanted to show you guys was a bigger picture of what exactly El Nino and La Nina look like. So this one here is a typical winter La Nina. So as you can see, as I was discussing, a colder than normal pattern because the jet stream ends up following this line here and takes a little bit more of a dip over the central part of the United States. And then you have wetter conditions out in the Pacific and drier conditions over like Arizona, parts of most of Texas actually, New Mexico, and drier than normal, even in the southeast. So that is, again, a La Nina weather pattern, which we have transitioned out of over the summer months, and now we are in a El Nino weather pattern, which, again, warmer, wetter down here, colder, an extended Pacific jet stream amplified storm track. So that's typically going to bring the ability for storms to develop and follow this track a little bit. This is not going to be a straight line, but and then bringing the storms and wetter precip over here versus having it up in this area here. So, with that being said, let's take a look at one other thing here. Let me see if I can get that. So how does this all come about? What do we typically end up seeing in Sioux Falls or Aberdeen or Lead? As you can see here, we have pulled this information. Now, so far Sioux Falls, this is a look at a monthly breakdown by city of normal and seasonal snowfall totals. This information was accessible freely through the National Weather Service. The specific details that the now data, if you will, that shows what we typically have. In October, 1.4 inches. Now I do know that we have not received a full inch of snow in the Sioux Falls area so far this season. And then typical October for Lead, South Dakota is 19.3. So the reason why I point out Sioux Falls and point out Lead is those are low numbers and higher numbers, but none of them right now are showing that we have met that. Sioux Falls certainly has not gotten over an inch of snow in the month of October. And November already, we have not, I mean, it's November 12th, and we have not had a single trace of snow in November. And we typically get 6.2. And I have not checked the recent data to see what Leeds, South Dakota shows for November, but let's just take Sioux Falls for instance. And then December is showing we're trending up, of course, 8.7. And the reason why I want to point those out a little bit further is, again, typical total season numbers are right here. 45.3 for Sioux Falls, 42.7, 37.2 for Pierre, 46.9, and then of course Leeds, South Dakota. One of their highest for Leeds, South Dakota was over 300 inches. Could you imagine over 300 inches? That would be crazy. But let's shut this off. This is the normals, a typical normal snowfall for the season. And some warnings that I want to give you real quick here. Oh, that didn't work so well. I'm going to turn this on real quick. See if I can find where that is. Nope, that's not what I want. Well, that's not going to work how I wanted it to, but that's okay. One thing that I wanted to show you is I'm going to capture a window here. All right, so there are many impacts that the cold can have to newborns, elderly, chronic illness, people that have outdoor workers, unhoused, all of that. So you want to make sure that they're limiting or avoid time outdoors, check on family and friends and neighbors, consume hot foods and warm drinks, but avoid caffeine and alcohol. All right. There's so many different things. And then frostbite and hypothermia, you need to be aware of these types of dangers with the coming months. While it hasn't been super cold yet, and we're expecting to have it warmer than normal, winter in South Dakota can be pretty brutal. Of course, don't slip. It's going to be pretty slick. Get that ice melt out there as quick as possible. And then we've already discussed don't underestimate the sleet dangers, how quickly that can sneak up on you, black ice, and then thank you for removing snow from the roof of your car. Good story that I had is when I had some snow up on the top of my vehicle a couple of years back and I didn't clear it off, and then I went to a stop sign. Because of that warm temperature inside the vehicle, it was warming that snow underneath of the roof of my vehicle. And once I got to a stop sign or a stop, it actually started sliding over my windshield, and then I had to get out of my car and get in the cold and clear my windshield. It was not fun. So it's very important for your safety as well as others. And trucks and SUVs, while they may be bigger, doesn't mean that they can't lose traction in ice and snow. So even four-wheel drive vehicles can lose traction in bad weather. All vehicles are susceptible to ice and snow, so know your limits and make sure you check your tires. And then we already went over that other detail. So let me shut that off. And now to what you guys were expecting. We are going to get to our wonderful predictions. Check it out. Here it is, Sioux Falls. We're expecting, my prediction is 42 inches of snow for the whole entire season. Now, is that going to be absolute? No, we never can say that. But the normal is 45.3. Highest we've seen is 123. Gosh, can you imagine 123 inches of snow? Oof. And then Aberdeen, 48 inches for the 23-24 season is what the prediction is. 42.7 is the typical. I'm trending that we're going to have a little bit higher than normal because I still feel that some of the snowfall that may hit a sharper trending upward pattern in January and February, that we would probably start seeing some of that maybe trickle down to the Aberdeen area, and, you know, the snow that comes through with the North Dakota area. So that's why I'm trending that one a little bit farther upward. Pierre, of course, that's in the central part of South Dakota. We're expecting that to be about 35 inches for the season. So again, drier than normal because of the fact that we're in a El Nino weather pattern, and it is trending to a stronger El Nino weather pattern. Rapid City, I kind of went with normal or close to normal, so 45 inches. Now, Rapid City doesn't mean that it's the hills. Rapid City would be like downtown Rapid City area. 45 inches of snow, and their highest sees, or yeah, I'm not sure if that's, wow, that is pretty. There might be some data wrong on this one because that doesn't make any sense. 25 highest seasonal snowfall, that's definitely got to be inaccurate, so I apologize for that. Because of the fact that a normal seasonal snowfall is typically 46.9. Now I know these are accurate for sure. 135 as far as the normals and the highest. For Lead, South Dakota, 135 inches is what my prediction is. So slightly lower than normal, and then definitely at 307 inches, highest seasonal snowfall. That is crazy. Sioux City, Iowa, I'm expecting 32 inches of snow is my prediction. 36 inches is kind of the normal, and 56 inches would be the highest. So that is all we have for our seasonal information. And I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, live video, and hopefully, because I haven't been watching it live to confirm that everything's working okay, but hopefully you enjoyed it. And I'm sorry for all of the flub ups, but you know, it is what it is. So God bless, and stay tuned. We'll have more updates as the winter season continues. Oh, one other thing that I do want to note. These predictions are, and snowfall normals are from October 1st of a given year to through April of a given year. So my predictions are from October 1st through the end of April of 2024. So keep that in mind if I do or do not hit my totals. Again, God bless, and you guys all take care. I will go ahead and leave you out with some music. Have a great day.